Hey, are you ready to dive into the world of SME IPOs hitting the market next week? It looks like we've got 4 new companies lining up to go public.
Absolutely. SME IPOs can be pretty interesting, with their growth potential. So, who's up first?
First up is Shri Ahimsa Naturals. They're launching their IPO with 62 lakh 2,800 equity shares, aiming to raise 73.81 crore rupees. The price is set between 113 and 119 rupees per share, and they'll be listing on the NSE SME. It opens March 25th and closes on the 27th.
Right, Shri Ahimsa Naturals. What exactly do they do? I always find the company background super important.
They're in the agro-food products space, specifically herbal extracts. They focus on extracting and manufacturing things like phenanhydrates, natural and green coffee bean extracts.
Oh, interesting. So, who uses their products? Like, what industries are we talking about?
They supply to the food and beverage, nutraceuticals, cosmetics, and pharmaceutical industries. And get this, they export to the USA, Germany, South Korea, and even Thailand. That's pretty global.
That's a wide reach. What about their financials? I mean, are they actually making money?
They have a market capitalization of 277.63 crore rupees. In FY23, their revenue was 99.88 crore rupees. And almost all of it, about 95.92%, came from exports. Their profit was 38.21 crore rupees.
Wow, those are solid numbers. What's the P over E ratio looking like?
Their P over E ratio is between 11.09 and 11.68 based on FY24 earnings. Seems reasonable, right?
Yeah, that sounds pretty attractive. So, what are they planning to do with the IPO proceeds?
They are planning to invest 35 crore rupees in Shri Ahimsa Healthcare for a new manufacturing facility and also for general corporate purposes. The offer for sale proceeds will go to the selling shareholders, Nemi Chand Jain and Sumitra Jain.
Got it. And did they have any anchor investors lined up?
They did. They raised 20.88 crore rupees from anchor investors on March 24th, 2025, but the investor list wasn't specified in the data we have.
Well, that was a good overview of Shri Ahimsa Naturals. Let's talk about the next company. What do you say?
Sounds good. I'm ready. What's the next IPO on our list?
Next up is ATC Energies. They're offering 54 lakh 3.600 equity shares, and their price band is between 112 and 118 rupees per share. Just like Shri Ahimsa, they are listing on the NSE SME.
ATC Energies, the name sounds like they're in the energy sector, right?
Spot on. They're in the energy sector, specifically manufacturing and supplying lithium-ion batteries on a B2B model.
Lithium-ion batteries, huh? Hot sector, especially with the whole EV push. So who's running the show over there?
Sandeep Gangabishan Bajoria is the promoter. They were incorporated in 2020.
All right, so they're relatively new. What do the financials look like for ATC Energies?
Their market capitalization is 240.59 crore rupees. FY23 saw lower top and bottom lines because of volatile global raw material prices, but recent data suggests higher margins. Specific figures for FY24 and H1 FY25 aren't detailed here though.
That volatility could be a concern. What are they planning to do with the IPO funds?
They're looking to prepay or repay some borrowings, fund working capital, cover general corporate purposes, and upgrade their factory. The specifics of the factory upgrades are still pending.
So, typical growth and debt reduction plans. Did they manage to get any anchor investors on board?
They did have an anchor bid date set for March 24, 2025, but the amount raised and the investor list weren't detailed as of March 23rd, 2025.
Got it. Okay, so that's 2 down. Who is next in line?
Desco Infratech is next. They are offering 20 lakh 50,000 equity shares with a price band of 147 to 150 rupees per share. And they are listing on the BSE SME.
Okay, Desco Infratech. Infrastructure, so they're probably involved in construction or something similar, right?
Exactly. They operate in city gas distribution, renewable energy, water and power sectors. They were incorporated back in 2011.
All right, so a bit more established than ATC Energies. What are their financial highlights?
Their market capitalization is 115.14 crore rupees. They had static top lines for FY23 and FY24, but higher margins in FY24 and a significant margin increase in H1 FY25.
Higher margins are always a good sign. What's the plan for the IPO proceeds?
They're planning to use the net proceeds for general corporate purposes. Specific details are still pending.
Okay, pretty broad strokes there. Any anchor investors for Desco?
Yes, they raised 8.66 crore rupees from anchor investors on March 21st, 2025, but the investor list wasn't detailed in the data.
Got it. Okay, so we've covered three. Who's the final contender?
Last but not least, we have Identixweb. They're offering 30,80,000 equity shares with a price band of 51 to 54 rupees per share and will list on the Beast C SME. This one's entirely a fresh issue.
Identixweb. That sounds like a tech company, am I right?
You nailed it. They are in the technology sector, focusing on e-commerce solutions. They do Shopify app development, web app development using PHP and React, and WordPress plugin development.
Okay, so they're riding the e-commerce wave. Who are the key people behind Identixweb?
The promoters are Mr. Priyankumar Jivarajbai Savani, Mr. Ankur Jagdishbai Lakhani, and Mrs. Iral Ankurbai Lakhani.
All right, what about their financial situation? Any highlights there?
The market capitalization isn't explicitly stated, but it's calculable post-listing. Specific financials like revenue, profit, and EPS aren't detailed in the available data, but you can find FY23, FY24, and H1 FY25 figures in their red herring prospectus RHP.
Got it. So need to dig into the RHP for the full picture. What are their objectives with the IPO?
Their objective is general corporate purposes. There's no offer for sale, just a fresh issue.
And what about anchor investors for Identixweb?
They had an anchor bid date of March 25th, 2025, but the amount raised and the investor list weren't detailed as of March 23rd, 2025.
Okay, so all four IPOs are launching next week with listing on the SME exchanges of NSE and BSE.
Yeah, exactly. CD Naturals, ATC Energies, and Desco Infratech have anchor investors, but we don't know who they are or how much Identixweb raised yet.
I see. And remember, everyone, we advise investors to check with certified experts before taking any investment decisions. Disclaimer, done. So between these four, anything catch your eye in particular?
Well, Shri Ahimsa Naturals seems to have strong financials and established export markets. ATC Energies is in a promising sector, but the volatility mentioned is something to watch. Desco Infratech has consistent performance, and Identixweb seems like a play on the growing e-commerce market.
Exactly. It's all about digging into the details and seeing where the potential lies. Hey, if you are enjoying this analysis, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more insightful content.